touchdown.
Fuck what you said. I said what I said. What's up, ah?
Yo, bro.
Man, I tell you once, I tell you twice.
Man, I'm a crackhead, man. I'm a rock star, you know. I ain't a crackhead, man. I'm a rock star.
God damn it.
What's up, y'all? So y'all heard what I said, Sports Entertainment Podcast. You got Telp, Don, Diesel D, Swish.
Yo, bro.
So I want to go right into the Monday Night Football game from this week. You had the Rams going against the Bucks. And first I want to mention the all-black referee crew. That's a big milestone right there. Congrats, that's black excellence.
Led by who?
Mr. Jerome Boga.
This the foul
Foul
style.
offense. The 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
He got a bed now.
Yeah, I said, Dar, you seen Jerome Boga great bid, came out of nowhere. And all right, in the round, they got the victory. They came out on top 27-24. Shout out to you, Mr. Ain't Mo Ice 2, aka Freaky Reese. I know you want to give you that shout out. There you go. Your rounds are 7-3.
And my man straight posted the standings right after that to show that they was at the top.
With no Andrew Whitworth on the line.
Nope.
It was pretty good. It's pretty good offensive line.
He gonna make sure
Could've been better.
he tell us. Yes, to go subscribe to him. He's on YouTube. And the score, as I said it, the score was 27-24, and that was a pretty good game. And Brady got fucked up too that game.
Yeah,
Another game he got fucked up. Mr. Jared Goff looked pretty good. Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp both had over 10 catches, over 100 yards. They got busy. They definitely got busy. And the Rams defense, they put the game away at the end, and they came on top. Now you're division leaders. So now let's go into Thanksgiving. The Thanksgiving matchups. First of all, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. Hope y'all enjoyed y'all holiday.
Get fat Thursdays.
So one of the matchups were messed up and postponed, but we're going to get into that after we talk about the games, which was the Ravens and Steelers. But first, we had the two games. We had the Texans
That bullshit.
going against the Lions. And it was a pretty good game. I know a lot of people weren't interested in it, but it was a pretty good game. I ain't going to lie. My ass was falling. It was half asleep the first half. But once I got up, I was paying attention to it, possibly for fantasy reasons. And my guy, Deshaun Watson, who put on the show, and the boy Will Fuller, who gave me fantasy points as I'm going against Dane. I'm coming for you, Dane.
Thank you, D. Watt. I might already have a win, baby.
And then y'all got any thoughts on that game? Y'all probably was asleep.
Hey,
I
to
already,
me.
go ahead. I already figured that the Texans was gonna pull the W out. I mean, I really wasn't worried after they got shut out by the Panthers.
To me, it was a toss-up. To me, it was a pretty good game. I saw the whole game. Texans was winning 24-10 and a half, then busted open in the fourth quarter.
I knew the Texans was going to win, but I ain't give a damn about that damn NFC East matchup with the Washington team.
That's
keep
next.
doing that shit.
The 4:30 game was the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Washington football team. And I picked Washington to win, and they actually came out to win. That first half, guess what? I was falling asleep again. But I was up for the second half. And the first half was a pretty good half. It was the score 17-13 and a half. But then the second half, the football team, they broke away. Antonio Gibson had 3 touchdowns. McLaurin had a good game. The defense, they even got a pick 6. That defense, they was messing Andy Dalton up. And they put them scrubs away. And the football team, they're your current division leaders in the NFC East.
As Stephen A. Smith would say, how about them Cowboys?
Hey, the football team beat the Cowboys both times this season.
Swept them.
And they lead the division now. That boy, Antonio Gibson,
Listen to
like,
what he said.
Guess what?
They lead the division at 4.
Guess what? Not only do they lead the division, before you get to the Gibson thing, your thing was wrong this time. Because remember, the same team didn't beat the team.
Oh, yeah, man. You said no team ever
There's certain teams.
Nah, nigga.
Come on, yo.
It's the NFC East. Anything possible.
Anything is
possible. Like KG said.
Gibson right now is looking like the NFC Rookie of the Year. It's going to be between him and Jefferson or the Vikings.
Come
on, yeah.
Good job, Al Smith.
Yeah, good job, Alex Smith. So I hope, as I said, I want Washington to make the playoffs and win the division. So just play how y'all play today. And that defense has been pretty good the whole season. So now I know a lot of people were upset about this, mad. The game was supposed to be the Thursday night primetime Thanksgiving game. Baltimore Ravens in Pittsburgh against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which was postponed. Now will be Sunday at 1:15. So how y'all feel about this? So we're gonna get in the reviews, but it was postponed.
I felt like this is kind of dumb because before the 49ers people had the virus from that Sunday game, they pushed that game up closer.
Yeah, they pushed the game up closer.
And half of that defense is like messing. They had to play without half of that defense. That wasn't fair to them.
Same thing happened in Las Vegas. It's just interesting. People who know me know I'm a resident conspiracy theorist. I think from all sides of the parallel world, and it's just too many contradictories already in this 2020 with the coronavirus and the pandemic. But even the NFL protocols are contradictory, and Aaron Rodgers pointed it out himself a couple times this season. It's a lot of things just don't make no sense. So with the increased rises of cases going into the winter and around the country, for some reason, more Ravens players got it, and they decided to push this back. But one thing interesting I wanted to bring up, have you noticed as we go into this winter season, it seems like the news, the media, have no longer focused on the rest of the world. They've only focused on the United States. So is the United States the only people now that have the coronavirus? Because now we don't hear anything about the rest of the world. It's kind of shit that a conspiracy theorist, thinks about. But I still think the Ravens was going to win this game, but a few hours ago, we heard that Lamar Jackson tested positive, and because of their rules, even if he gets multiple negatives in a row, it's not enough negatives to allow him to play. So he's already been ruled out, even if this is not a positive testing. So another one of those faulty rules that just makes no sense, and it's putting a real asterisk for me at this point on the entire NFL season. How you feel?
Like shit. For the simple fact that I wanted to watch my team, of course, play tonight. But, yeah, again, with the whole coronavirus thing, honestly, I feel like they're going to reschedule the game Sunday as well. I don't understand why you're having a game at 1:15. A 15-minute difference is not what is 15 minutes going to do. And then
maybe a negative test for Lamar Jackson that morning.
That nigga
They said he already
ruled him out.
But I still feel like, I honestly don't feel like the NFL took the right precautions for player safety, in my opinion.
They did.
And if they would have canceled football season, I wouldn't even been upset because the player safety is more important than our entertainment for real.
But as always,
they think about the money and they think about how much money they're going to lose. But you're a multi-million-dollar company, so no matter how much money you will lose, you're still going to gain it because people are going to be waiting for football to come back, even if football wasn't being shown. But I feel like with the whole coronavirus thing, if it's a lot of testers, they've already shown that a lot of testers came back negative, and they were first read as positive, but they came back as negative. So I mean, I just don't understand the whole thing about the whole testing thing. Like, you gotta quarantine. You gotta quarantine for a couple days. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. But it's like.
But it's different. Quarantine was different.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I was going to go out of the country, I got to quarantine for 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah. So it's like.
So why do athletes only have to quarantine for what?
4 or 5 days? Like.
That's why I said, even with the whole coronavirus thing, with the shit that's going on right now, the whole world is they try to take the main focus off the real thing, the Black Lives Matter thing, because I haven't heard anybody mention anything about Black Lives Matter since football came back, and it's like it's a lot going on with politics and shit like that. But I don't know, the NFL just looks stupid as shit right now.
Yeah, NFL is just a whole fucking circus shit show.
And they also fought the Steelers over because they gave the Steelers that week that the Steelers played the Titans or some shit. They had switched that shit back. And a lot of Steelers players was on Twitter today. They were mad about it because they actually wanted to play, but I don't know.
The NFL just not consistent.
Yeah, they're not. Like they have no form of leadership. We're gonna break the rules that we set whenever we want, and we're gonna justify because we're in charge. Yeah. But you better not break none of them, or we're gonna find you. And even though we can't prove that you really broke the rules, we're gonna say you broke a protocol and still find you. It's a whole bunch of
becoming a dictatorship like always.
Yeah.
Well, maybe there's a problem with all the traveling and stuff. Remember this happened in baseball too.
Whatever the
like
problem
the
with all the traveling.
Like the first half of the season, some of the teams got like many games canceled in a row because some people had the virus.
So
I
what
mean,
about
I
these
think
teams that
traveling
nobody's
stuff.
testing positive?
Yeah.
for?
Remember when playoffs got when the baseball got to the playoffs, they almost did like a bubble thing when they was playing at the same home.
All right, so let me ask you
Too
this.
many teams for them to do a bubble thing in football right now because everybody's traveling.
Let me ask you
with
this.
the 32 teams.
Let me ask you this, because people still travel no matter what. Because all of these, have you noticed that all of these restrictions are recommendations, they're warnings, they're suggestions, because they can't really tell people what to do. But when the majority that y'all are preaching this to, they start to believe in you and they start to complain, then you're legally obligated to put a mandate on because the majority asked for it. Which is how everything's happening. You're mandatory to wear a mask here because the majority asked for it after you fed them that they should wear a mask. So I feel like in this particular instance, you remember the first game of the season, Thursday Night Football, Chiefs. Remember that fan had coronavirus? We have not heard not one instance of any fan through 12 weeks after that getting the case. Why not? Because that's no longer their focus.
Right.
And that's the things I pay attention to throughout the entire season. I look from all aspects.
But how do some teams come back with no cases and then the next day a
You're
fucking
saying
team?
how one day after they play,
Like I still don't understand. I still don't understand when we just played the Steelers a couple of weeks ago and we played them. They tried to say a couple ratings. They said Marlon Humphrey had a coronavirus, but none of the Steelers players. They tested all the Steelers players at the game. They said none of the Steelers players had it. So what's so
field?
And saying as though that the Steelers are in the same division as us, and saying as though they play the same team that we've been playing, how is it that all these Ravens players are getting the coronavirus, but none of these Steelers players or other teams, they just immune to this shit?
Also, like you mentioned, when they test somebody, like you said, and me and Darren saw it, they said Adam Balen tested positive, but then it came back the next day talking about he tested negative. So how you go from testing positive one day to testing negative the next day?
And mind you,
so what
this
is wrong with y'all testing?
This is the very next day, because this was on Sunday. They played, and then Monday morning it was Dalen, Dobbins, and Ingram. One day later, and then like he said, the very next day on Tuesday, Dalen's negative. So it's like, when are y'all going to hold accountability and responsibility for your own rigged protocols? Your own rigged protocols, like
it's tragic.
Tragic. This ain't you being funny.
You remember the World Series?
Yeah.
Justin Turner played in that last game. They pulled him during the game, like the seventh minute, and said he had the virus.
Pulled him during the game and said he had the virus during the World Series.
But this not even no funny shit. How come if somebody they gotta get tested for AIDS or HIV, they take one test and say they got it or they don't have it? But with a fucking coronavirus, a pandemic, you gotta take multiple tests.
Cause it's different.
Like it's different because they tell us it's different. It's like whatever we can get the people to believe, that's what we're gonna run with. I don't really want to get too much into it. A lot of people are sensitive. They think with their feelings instead of facts. But week 12 of football, we here. Thanksgiving weekend. We got a lot of games going on. The Las Vegas Raiders, Atlanta Falcons. We got the Titans against the Colts. The Patriots against the Cardinals. We got Tampa Bay against the Chiefs. America's game of the week. Sunday night football, the Bears and the Packers.
We got Monday night
football, Seahawks and Eagles. We got a good week lined up. It's tasty. I just hope this pandemic doesn't mess up the games for this weekend.
We ain't
got nothing else. Swish, they don't want nothing to help. Diesel D.
Thank y'all. Always. We out. Y'all heard what we said.
Yes, sir.
And we gone.
Yo, bro. Hey, goddamn.